Cannondale is a bike brand that I lusted after as a teenager, and I'll be honest, I never really thought of them as an option for an e-bike. That was until Johannes from emtb in Opfikon asked me if I'd like to try one. So let's see if the Moterra can relight my Cannondale fire. The Cannondale Moterra comes in 4 different versions. 3 160mm trail bikes, imaginatively named the 1, the 2 and the 3, and the Moterra SE, which, with an extra 20mm of travel up front, is clearly aimed at the gravity market. The bikes are available in sizes from small up to extra large. They all run on 29-inch wheels, except for the small bikes, which are equipped with 27.5-inch wheels, something which I'm sure the smaller rider will appreciate. The frame on all the models, which consists of a carbon fibre front triangle and an aluminium rear end, comes with a lifetime warranty from Cannondale, which should give any prospective buyers concerned about durability some extra peace of mind. The bike is powered by the latest 4th generation Bosch CX performance motor. The Moterra 3 that I was riding normally comes equipped with a 500 watt-hour battery in the down tube, but emtb have taken the excellent decision, in my opinion, of speccing it with a 625 watt-hour battery like the rest of the range. The Moterra 3 is Cannondale's budget option. Now clearly it is far from cheap, but it does represent pretty good value for money for a bike from such a premium brand. It comes with a RockShox Deluxe Select R shock providing 160mm of bounce at the back and a 160mm RockShox 35 Gold fork up front. It runs WTB tubeless ready rims shod with Maxxis Minions front and back. Shifting is taken care of by the very competent SRAM SX Eagle 12-speed setup. It also comes equipped with a huge dinner plate sized 220mm rotor up front and 4-piston SRAM Guide RE brakes that provide some awesome stopping power. True praise indeed from a self-confessed Shimano fanboy. The bike makes a really good first impression. It has a particularly nice glittery paint job and a tidy cockpit with some fabric grips that had a great feel to them. Furthermore, the terrible Bosch charging port cap has been replaced with a far more substantial and easier to handle version, and the magnet for the speed sensor has been neatly mounted next to the rear disc to keep it out of harm's way. Before I got on the bike though, I have to admit I did feel a little bit apprehensive. It just looked so big and unwieldy. But as soon as I swung a leg over the XL bike that I have for the day, I felt instantly at home with its proportions. Not too long, not too cramped. In short, nothing too extreme, which is backed up by the bike's geometry figures. The trail bikes all come with 66-degree head tube angles, a 75-degree seat tube angle, and, for a 29er e-bike, a reasonably compact 450mm chainstay. The wheelbase ranges from 1184mm on the small up to 1276mm on the extra large. The reach on the small bike is 430mm, increasing to 495mm on the extra large, and the stack starts at 585mm, going up to 638mm on the largest bike in the range. On the first climb I did feel the front end grappling for the air at times, but moving forward a little on the seat soon solved this, and I think if I was on the bike for longer I could have slid the seat forward a little on the rails to solve this issue. While on the topic of the saddle, I should tell you that the fabric seat was super comfy. I mean, like considering buying a new saddle comfy. Something else that really struck me was the absence of pedal strikes during my test ride, despite riding some trails where this was a clear danger. My initial thought was that the bike might be fitted with 160mm cranks, but in actual fact it was fitted with 165mm cranks, so I guess this was more likely to be the result of the surprisingly high 362mm bottom bracket height. When descending, I think the first thing that struck me was that for a bike of its size, it felt much more agile than I was expecting. Whether there's a sacrifice to be made for this in steeper, tougher terrain is hard to say, but I can see how this trait could earn the bike many fans. On paper, I might have been slightly concerned about the high bottom bracket, but as a package it works well, providing exactly the sort of stability you would expect from an e-bike in this class. In fact, by the end of the ride I was feeling comfortable enough to start winding up the speed and hitting a few new jumps. All in all, the Cannondale Moterra made an excellent first impression. I have to stress this really was just a first ride and not a full test. But it has given me a taste of what the bike is capable of, and I would be intrigued to see how it handles itself in some more demanding terrain. If you're interested in seeing for yourself whether this might be the right bike for you, I've put a link in the description to Emway in Opfikon, who I'm sure will be able to help you out. Anyway, thanks for coming along, take care, and I'll see you next time.